And now our tale of the tape for this lightweight fight. 4 years apart, with similar height and some differences in reach. All right, now for the official introductions, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. And when the action begins, a referee in charge of the Octagon, Yves Lavigne. And now, this is the moment UFC fans around the world have been waiting for. Live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas.
This is absolute. Has had 2 fights in the UFC, and look at what he's rousing here in the O2 Arena. We got to talk about the fights.
I'm here with the highlight, one of the best ever do it, ladies and gentlemen. Justin, you publicly said this is the last chapter of your career. You want to go out with the title. Give us your thoughts on what tomorrow night means to you.
Oh, it means everything. I've committed my whole life to this, and I think every fight's the biggest, but this is the biggest fight of my life. I cannot wait to carry the stars and stripes on my back and represent this country like it should be represented.
Thank you, sir. Good luck to you. Justin Gaethje, ladies and gentlemen.
Justin, Paddy says he's been preparing for you like he prepared for the Michael Chandler fight. Is that a mistake? And why is this different from Chandler?
Well, you obviously seen me fight Chandler. I have, better skills, and I beat him. But I don't care what he says, what he thinks. If he thinks I'm Michael Chandler, again, it goes back to my first statement. I love everything he's saying right now.
And last one, your manager said he would like to see you fight Conor McGregor at the White House. At this stage in your career, would you take the money fight or would you be focused on the undisputed title next?
I'm only focused on Paddy Pimblett, January 24th. How many times do I gotta say I don't expect to be alive after these fights? I go in there willing and ready to give everything, and that's the same. I'll be on the White House card no matter what. Who I'm fighting doesn't matter.
Some critics think you don't have enough experience for a title fight. What is the moment, the fight that earned you this title shot?
Winning my last fight, being on a 7-fight win streak, the longest in the lightweight division. The critics can stick it up their asses. I'm the one who's fighting for the belt.
This fight has everyone choosing sides for good reason. One camp sees Justin's striking power and thinks that experience level is just too overwhelming. The other camp thinks Paddy can drag this into complete mayhem and turn everything upside down once it hits the mat. That face-off just poured gasoline on the fire, and now people are calling this fight in totally opposite directions.
Justin Gaethje is known for his iconic backflip. If everything goes for you well, do you have anything up your sleeve come celebration time?
I'm not doing no backflip, me lads. Fuck that, I'll break my neck. Don't know, probably just start dancing like I always do, lad.
Paddy made something crystal clear right from Jump Street. This isn't going to be just another fight for him. This is going to be personal and brutal. What Paddy was really saying when he came at Justin like that was simple. He wants to damage Justin in ways that stick around long after the final bell rings. He wants to break Justin down completely. When someone brought up the possibility of this going the distance, Paddy didn't back down from that conversation at all. He talked about having the grit and the conditioning to battle someone like Justin for a full 25 minutes, but then he immediately flipped that script by saying he doesn't think this fight makes it that far.
This fight. Usually when we think of Gaethje, we think of wars, we think of back and forth scraps. Do you think this is going to be a dominant one-way traffic performance by yourself?
That's our job, innit? We're meant to hate each other. That's what everyone's here to see. You know what I mean?
Is part of you hoping that maybe Justin can finally be the one to drag you into a war, take you to the full 5 rounds and see what your medal is made of?
Yeah, of course, but I know I've got that in me anyway. I know I've got the heart and the desire to go 5 rounds with a warrior like Justin Gaethje, but it's not going to go that long. As I say, I'm going to put a beating on him, and it's going to be like he's never had before, and I can't wait to show everyone just how good I am.
Everything shifted when Justin started dragging other fighters and their recent performances into the discussion. Paddy fired right back by holding his ground and explaining that everything he said about those other guys being in rough shape was coming from an honest place. He doubled down hard and made it obvious he doesn't give a damn if people get offended by his opinions. Right there, Paddy came across as someone who's perfectly fine being the villain if it means keeping all the heat on his opponent.
The legends against the disrespectful new breed here.
I'm still in it. Legends retire. I ain't retired yet. I'm still in it. The fire is still as bright and as hot as it's ever been, and I cannot wait to fight this guy.
Dustin's never got a nice word to say about me, lad. So, I was honest and said he looked like shit against Gaethje. Fucking hell, stop fucking crying, you gang of
That wasn't even the fight you were talking about. You said his last fight.
Which? No, I'm saying Dustin looked like shit against Holloway. That was what I said.
You would also look like shit against Holloway.
Well, we'll see once I beat.
When the conversation moved toward comparing him to other top-level grapplers, Paddy embraced being counted out. He explained how people constantly think they've got his game figured out, and they're almost always completely wrong. Rather than stacking himself up against anyone else, he emphasized that his approach is weird and impossible to prepare for.
Justin said yesterday that you're no Khabib Nurmagomedov on the ground, and he's going to fight you with no fear in that area. Do you think he's going to be surprised about your ground game if it does go there?
Everyone's surprised by my whole game when they fight me. No one expects me to be as good as I am. Everyone underestimates me, but it helps in my favour. Know what I mean? It makes the fight easier for me because everyone underestimates me. And I'm not Khabib. No one else is. I'm me. Know what I mean? And I'm an even harder puzzle to solve. I'm proper weird. You knew what Khabib was coming to do. You don't know what I'm coming.
Justin's energy during that face-off matched Paddy's intensity completely. When someone tried to frame this as old school legends versus the new generation, Justin shut that down immediately. He made it obvious he doesn't see himself as some relic from the past. He stressed that he's still active, still dangerous, and still hungry. He broke down how Paddy's unorthodox style is something you need to crack early in the fight, but once you solve that puzzle, momentum starts swinging your way. He discussed building pressure round after round and made it clear that letting this fight drag into deeper waters only helps his cause. Even when he mentioned the championship rounds, it wasn't framed as concern, but more like confidence in how things will change once he downloads Paddy's patterns.
Legends retire. I ain't retired yet. I'm still in it. The fire is still as bright and as hot as it's ever been, and I cannot wait to fight this guy.
Dustin's never got a nice word to say about me, lad. So, I was honest and said he looked like shit against Gaethje. Fucking hell, stop fucking crying, you gang of
That wasn't even the fight you were talking about. You said his last fight.
Which? No, I'm saying Dustin looked like shit against Holloway. That was what I said.
You would also look like shit against Holloway.
Well, we'll see once I beat you. I could end up fighting him.
Well, you won't be fighting him.
Justin, you said you want to drag Paddy specifically to the later rounds. Is that because you just want to test him there, or have you seen something in his performances that make you know you can have success there?
No, it's just when I find the most success. He is weird. He's awkward fighting style. And it's going to be a little puzzle. I'm going to have to figure it out through the first round. And similar to my other opponents, I constantly am building momentum. And this is a battle of momentum. And I said I'm going to dog walk this motherfucker.
If it lasted that long.
Justin, Paddy says he's been preparing for you like he prepared for the Michael Chandler fight. Is that a mistake? And why is this different from Chandler?
Well, you obviously seen me fight Chandler. I have, better skills and I beat him. But I don't care what he says, what he thinks. If he thinks I'm Michael Chandler, again, it goes back to my first statement. I love everything he's saying right now.
And last one, your manager said he would like to see you fight Conor McGregor at the White House. At this stage in your career, would you take the money fight or would you be focused on the undisputed title next?
I'm only focused on Paddy Pimblett, January 24th. How many times do I gotta say I don't expect to be alive after these fights? I go in there willing and ready to give everything, and that's the same. I'll be on the White House card no matter what. Who I'm fighting doesn't matter.
When people started making comparisons to previous opponents like Chandler, Justin dismissed all of that completely. He didn't waste time arguing or breaking down those comparisons. His attention stayed focused entirely on Paddy and their upcoming date. The vibe he gave off during the entire face-off was calm but deadly serious. He made it known that all the talking becomes meaningless once they actually lock that cage door.
Yeah, Gaethje's a different beast, and like, look, you know, Scouses don't get knocked out. Now you can take a shot, but again,
against the highlight.
You don't want to be a highlight. That's what I'm saying. So, in the highlight, who doesn't get tired? So, I think this is Paddy's biggest challenge yet. Perfect opponent, perfect fight for them. You know, old dog, new dog. And Gaethje, that was one of his last 3 fights against Poirier. Another highlight. You know, there's another one, another highlight against a beast in Barboza.
So the leg kicks from Gaethje too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true. The stance. I didn't even think about that. This is what Gaethje used to. He still does it. The ones he did against Barboza. Leg kick for leg kick. They were both battling. Well, Tony Ferguson as well. The way he handled him with the leg kicks. Shit was gangster. Gaethje, I just like the style. Come forward.
This matchup has the MMA community buzzing harder than anything in recent memory. Everyone's got their takes, so let's dive into what the big names are predicting. Starting with Israel Adesanya, he broke down Justin and emphasized that this isn't some faded version of the fighter we used to know. He described Justin as still ruthless, still explosive, and still capable of ending fights in the blink of an eye. He highlighted Justin's leg kicks, his forward pressure, and how he's built his entire reputation on destroying guys who try to stand and trade with him for too long. For Israel, that's exactly what makes this fight so compelling. Paddy's got all the momentum right now, but Justin's got experience in these precise moments where one split-second mistake can flip the entire script.
And Gaethje is that guy, you know, 37, you know, but he's still that guy. He's still the violent highlight. So, yeah, but again, that kind of stuff is fuel if you choose to use it as fuel. So, he seems like he is.
What should Gaethje's approach to this fight be?
Fucking be Gaethje. Just be Gaethje. Be you. Do you. You know who you are, so don't let them tell you who you are. Show them who you are. Leg kicks is good, but don't start off with leg kicks. Start off with his... Gaethje has a nice jab. He likes to stay in the mid-range, so he'll be able to jab Paddy, but Paddy as well has... if he uses his jab well, he'll be fine. I think Paddy will be on the back foot first, and if he cracks Gaethje, then he'll be the one dictating the pace. But Gaethje will be the first one dictating the pace, in my opinion, in the first few exchanges or in the first round. Gaethje has to also be careful because Paddy hits hard. Gaethje can eat him. Look... There's a reason Paddy's the favorite in this fight. Again, I'm just going to follow the script today. Today I'm following the script.
What, smart money?
Yeah, just smart money. So if I say Paddy in this fight, I just think it's going to be fire.
Israel labeled this as Paddy's most significant challenge yet and broke down why it feels like such a perfect stylistic matchup, a veteran presence versus rising star, momentum versus proven track record. He connected it to his own journey, explaining how these types of fights determine who you really become as a fighter. He said Justin needs to trust his instincts and not overcomplicate things, but he also recognized that Paddy being favored isn't some accident. Ultimately, Israel picked Paddy not because Justin can't get it done, but because Paddy keeps finding answers to every challenge thrown at him. He mentioned if this fight goes into the later rounds, Paddy thinks that's where he takes complete control, and Israel said he's curious to see if that confidence is justified.
Fiziev fight ends up being a close decision where he builds as the fight goes on and starts breaking him in the third round. Both times that seemed to happen. But Fiziev took him down in round 1. Pure striker Fiziev. Took him down in round 1 and had him in an inverted triangle. And had him there for a while. And I think he could have done a lot more work from that position if he kind of knew the position he was in. But it seemed like once Fiziev ended up there, he just started hitting the body a few times and then thought, I don't know where to progress from this position. If Pimblett ever ends up landing on Gaethje in like one of those precarious positions, it's going to be immediate, like a lat single triangle on the arm, wrench, go round to the back. It's going to be like a systematic jiu-jitsu difference that Oliveira had, but after dropping Gaethje in the first place, you know?
When he analyzes Justin's most recent performances, the wrestling vulnerabilities are where his belief in Paddy really takes off. He highlights how Justin has been taken down or controlled, even by guys who aren't primarily grapplers. He discusses specific moments where Justin found himself in compromising positions and didn't seem to have clear solutions for advancing or escaping smoothly. He thinks if Paddy ever gets into those same situations, the gap in skill becomes obvious immediately.
So I'm going to go with Pimblett by submission. I think at some point he'll end up on top of Gaethje. Will that be from a takedown? I think he could if he gets the body lock. I think he could. I don't think I see him shooting single leg or a double leg on Gaethje and getting it. But if they end up brawling and he shoots in while he bounces off the cage and gets the body lock and drags him like he did to Chandler, I could see it there. I could see it happening there. I could even see him dropping Gaethje or wobbling him on the feet. Gaethje does get wobbled and dropped. He's been wobbled and dropped. He's been flatline KO'd. So it can happen to him, you know, where he ends up in that stumbly mode. And in that stumbly mode might be where Pimblett could get a takedown for a submission or a ground and pound.
He also breaks down exactly how he envisions the takedown unfolding if it happens. He doesn't see Paddy shooting picture-perfect doubles in open space. He pictures it developing during wild exchanges, or against the fence, maybe after some striking chaos where Justin gets pressed backward. From that position, Paddy secures the body lock, drags him to the canvas, and everything changes in an instant. Tim Welch spent considerable time discussing Justin's knockout power and how it shows up during chaotic moments. He emphasized that when Paddy charges forward aggressively, his chin becomes available to be cracked, and that's precisely where Justin does his best work. Tim kept circling back to Justin stepping back, setting his feet, and unleashing devastating counters like that right hand and left hook. At the same time, Tim gave Paddy his due credit for his strengths. He explained that Paddy doesn't just tolerate wild firefights, he actually thrives in them. Tim also noted that when Justin gets too wild and loses his composure, that creates opportunities for takedowns, clinch work, or back takes. That becomes extremely dangerous against someone like Paddy, who's completely comfortable on the mat and would actually welcome those scrambling situations. Tim made it obvious that Justin's aggressive nature might serve him well, but it could also land him in deep trouble if he gives up position. The staydown between Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje offered fans a real taste of what's coming. You could feel the focus and bad intentions from both guys, and it proved that neither one is going to have an easy night ahead of them. The predictions are scattered everywhere. Some people think Paddy's unorthodox style and relentless pace will take over, while others think Justin's proven power and octagon wisdom will be the deciding factor. What's guaranteed is that the intensity and skill level shown during that face-off is just a small sample of the violence we're about to witness inside that cage. So what's your take? Who are you backing when this goes down? Drop your thoughts in the comments.